Hi, I thought I'd just put together this short video because you guys really don't know me from a bar of soap. And I thought if I told you a little bit about myself and where I come from, what I do, it might help out in that regard. I am a small business aficionado. You see, I was lucky enough to be born into and grew up in an entrepreneurial family where my father owned two small businesses, one major one and one smaller one. And I learnt from a very young age about entrepreneurship through that, just growing up in that family environment and seeing the freedom that those two businesses gave my father and ultimately gave the family. So from a very young age, I just wanted to be like my father. I just wanted to be a successful business person. So my first little venture in business was while I was still at school, and it was a paper run. We lived very close to the University of Queensland in those days, and it was a great place to have a paper run because of the volume of people that moved in and out of the university grounds. I learnt a valuable lesson whilst operating that paper run for a couple of years. I learnt to be accountable for my actions. I learnt that with a little bit of hard work, some planning, that there was a reward at the end of the day, and that reward was money, which was a great reward when you're still at school. I always just wanted to run my own business, so when I finished school, that was my goal, that was my aim, that's what I wanted to do. I was fortunate enough though to realise that I was a little bit young and a little bit inexperienced to start up straight out of school. So I joined my father in the smaller of the two businesses. And that was a wonderful experience. I spent about 6 to 8 years working side by side with my father, learned an enormous amount from a very successful business person. And it's always stuck with me that don't try and reinvent the wheel. There are plenty of people out there that have been there and done it before you that can mentor you, can coach you, can help you on your journey. So over that period of time, I change managed the business from a company that, when I first joined, basically just sold big ticket packaging machinery. Very lumpy cash flow. You know, we did well when we'd sold a big machine and then we had to wait until the next sale. So I managed it into a company that sold machinery that had a consumable component to it. And eventually the consumables ended up being the day-to-day profitability of the business, and the machinery was just the cream on the top. So it was a very, very good, very workable business model. And that business ended up turning over about $3.5 million a year, and we had about 10 staff. But I really always had this hankering to have something of my own, run something of my own. So I went out and bought a Signarama franchise, and I ran that business for about 3 or 4 years. It was pretty tough going when you've got two businesses, because I was still running the family business side by side with the signage company, and eventually decided that I would get out of the Signarama business and go back and concentrate again on the family business. But I learnt something really, really valuable, and that was the art of delegation. You see, you just cannot do it all yourself. And whether you're running just a busy small business or doing what I was doing, running two businesses, you've got to delegate. The advantage of that learning to delegate is that your staff realise that you're passing on some trust to them, and they pay that trust back to you, and the payment comes back in the form of productivity. So it's a real win-win situation. Along the way, there was also a consulting business that I set up, ran for a while and exited. And after being in business for 35 years, I had this epiphany one day that I just really needed a break. So I sold houses, I sold cars, I sold everything up, went out and bought a Jeep Grand Cherokee and a Jayco caravan and set off around Australia. Gave me a lot of time to myself to reflect back over the 35 years that I'd spent in business. And I could see that there were things that I probably could have done better in those businesses, and there were things that I did very, very well. And it also made me realise that there were probably things that I could have done that might have got me a better result on the exit of those businesses. So I sat down and developed what I call Exitology, and I've trademarked that. I always felt obliged, I suppose, to go on a mission to go out and help other small business people who may be in the struggle cycle, help them be happier, to have what I call business happiness, to be in control of their businesses, to be in control of the growth of their business, to be in control of the exit of their business. So Exitology is a 5-step growth and value enhancement program that marries together growth and exit and provides control of both of those processes throughout the business cycle. Now, I made a mention of business happiness before, and that's another concept that I've developed and trademarked. And it's really a situation where you have a profitable business. Number one, got to be profitable. An engaging business, a business that's engaging for the employees, engaging for stakeholders, engaging for suppliers, customers. One that has a purpose that you can really pour your passion into, something that just, it's in your DNA, that this is what you want to do. The business, of course, has got to be automated because you do need breaks. You've got to get away. The business has got to be able to run itself. And the business has got to be saleable, and this is the one that intrigues me that people don't think about. Why spend all those years of hard work building up a business to find out that it's either not saleable or saleable for a lot less than what you really think it's worth? Now, I have this passion to help out. I have the education, having just completed an MBA and also a diploma of accounting. I have the business experience and I have the life experience to help you gain that business happiness and do it while your work life is not in balance but in harmony. Now, there's a very subtle difference between those two concepts, balance and harmony. And maybe if you get to meet me, we can sit down and have a bit of a spirited conversation about what those subtle differences are. Anyway, by the way, my name is Jonathan Lucas. I'm the Senior Exitologist at a company that I formed called Exit or Growth Proprietary Limited, and I would love to hear from you. So that's about it for now. Have a great day and thank you for watching. Goodbye.